Sam Baker, the shortstop.
Baker usually wears number 21. Today, he's wearing number 20. And Sylvester a little outside on that one. Baker out of Point U, Georgia University, 136 at-bats, 36 hits for his squad. Prattville, Alabama is where he calls home. So he's used to this humidity, messy weather. I've been to Alabama many times, and it is a tough time in the summer. That right to the shortstop should be an easy play for Kroll to Krasuk, and that's a easy 1-2-3 hitting, Tom. Much like the Monarchs at the top of the first, same thing for Sylvester at the bottom.
Yeah, a lot of fun right there. Sylvester pounding the strike zone, and these wood bats not going to have the same amount of power as what these guys are used to, so hopefully we're going to get a very competitive game here. Maybe low scoring, maybe not. We'll see the rest of this game.
Runs could be at a premium in this one. Top of the second, coming up next right here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back into Lake Trust Stadium. Dan Leach alongside Tommy Cavanaugh. By the way, I apologize because we had some grumbles in the audio. The Jetbox coached by Steve Herbst. Assistant coach Butch Lux. You might notice Ryan Lux and Brennan Lux are his kids. Bench coach Jeremy Kroll. You might notice that Nick Kroll is his kid, and the coach Joe Rizowski. And the Monarchs, of course, normally led by Kelton Caldwell and Adam Castile, the pitching coach. They are in Alaska with Hillary Swank. And the bench coach, David Robinson, will be the interim manager today. And that ball smacked right into the hands of, Brady Akers, or Brody Akers, just like that. One up, one down, one pitch, one down. And also Peter Riley, our man PR15. He is going to be your assistant coach today. We got to love the great work that Peter does. He told me on the way, he's like, how am I supposed to coach a game when I'm also the water boy? I mean, he does everything. PR is our guy.
Yeah, he really does, especially with post-game meals for both teams afterwards.
He does. I love that Jimmy John sub the other night. And taking a strike is Lux. Is Brendan Lux, the younger of the two. And that ball sprayed right. Am I missing my numbers again? Remember, we're going to have a lot of numbers today. It's Kroll. Nick Kroll, the comedian. Lux will be up next. And that ball right back to Konashevsky. He's going to hold on to it. That reminds me of Wake Forest last night, Tom, where that final out was just taken by the pitcher. They'd come back down 2-0 and gave LSU and Tennessee an elimination game today.
Yeah, what an incredible game last night. If you didn't check it out, it was a pivotal play towards the end of the game. Slow roller with the bases loaded, and a guy, second and third. The third baseman picked it, threw it across the baseline, and the catcher, beautiful pick and tag for that big second out in the eighth inning.
And I might or might not have had some money on Wake Forest. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny. Well, it's legal, but I'm just saying. That was a great game. It really was. And both times that Wake Forest won in the World Series, they came back in the eighth inning. And that ball outside, 2-0 to Brennan Lux. Brennan Lux undecided on his next college adventure. He's a junior out of Shelby Township. Just mentioned his – actually, I believe his brother Ryan is the older of the two from Eastern Michigan. I wanted to call them twinsies, but they're not. I just wanted to make it up, but I can't do that.
Yeah, Ryan's he's about my age. We played each other in high school a little bit when he was on Livonia Stevenson.
He's not as good looking as you, though, but he's close. And that ball right to the second baseman. It should be an easy play for Gamini, and he makes it. And how about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row for the Jetbox out of Konashevsky's pitching. We go to the bottom of the second, scoreless here at Lake Trust Stadium, right around the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back in. Dan Leach alongside Tom Cavanaugh. Beautiful night in the mid to low 80s now. Nice breeze coming in here at Lake Trust Stadium, and it's been a great start for both these pitchers. 6 in a row mowed down, including a few strikeouts for Konashevsky. Now Thomas Sylvester, the Cats back in. Out of Wabash College at JUCO, 57-13 was the record. How far did they go in the playoffs? Do we know, Tom?
Yeah, they finished second. They lost. It was a crazy game. They lost to College of Central Florida, who has now won it 2 times in a row. College of Central Florida is a powerhouse, so they were just right there. They lost 19-12 in 12 innings. It's a 7-run difference in extra innings for a loss.
And now up for the Monarchs and rolling out to first is Thompson, the catcher. So an easy out for Sylvester. And if you're just joining us for the first time on one of our broadcasts, first, welcome in. We love you. We know Tom's dad's watching. He's always a big fan of his son. He should be. But the dimensions here at Lake Trust Stadium, 330 to left and right field, 420 in the gaps, 440 straight away. And as Tom measured with his gold-plated official ruler, it is 65 feet from home plate to this beautiful brick backstop right in front of our broadcast position. That ball inside on Mark Scoop Harder at a walk-off here in the first ever broadcast and home game we ever did here a couple weeks ago now. Monarchs come off a 23-15 year, most wins in the league last year, swing and a miss. It'll be a 1-1 count here on Scoop Harden. And Scoop Harden, we know his father, I believe his name is Mark Harden as well, because Mark Harden, Scoop Harden for the Monarchs, Mark Harden the second, he is watching because he clipped the walk-off and our great call and shared it on social media. That was pretty cool. And a swing and a miss there by the son of Mark Harden.
Yeah, you really always got to appreciate when parents, go back and they
so
screen
cool.
record and clip them and stuff, because obviously for their own personal satisfaction, but you love having it out on social media too.
And he takes a strike looking. Boy, is Sylvester look good in this one. That's his third strikeout. And that one fooled Scoop. He'll have more chances, but we want to thank Mark's dad because he did a great job. That was our first game. We're, trying to make sure all of our equipment's working. He's clipping our walk-off, sharing it everywhere, and, telling us kind words about the broadcast. So thank you very much to Mark Harden. Should I call him Senior? Mark Harden the King, and then his son's the Prince. Now taking a swing and missing it is Connor Cornwell, the DH Cornwell, out of Saginaw Valley State University. He's a sophomore out of Sterling Heights. Had 17 games played for Saginaw Valley this past season. That ball a little high, so it's 1-1, 2 down. And so far, if hopefully Cornwell reaches for the Monarchs, but if not, it'd be 6 down and 6 up for each team so far.
Yeah, I'm really impressed right now with Sylvester. He's only missed one spot all day.
Yeah, he is, as you mentioned before the game, he is really good. He came from a really good school at Wabash that won 57 games this season. One of the best JUCO programs in the country, and as you explained beautifully, a lot of talent at JUCO. Sometimes as that ball splashed to second, it's going to be an easy play there for Holtink to Krasuk, and that is 6 up, 6 down for both teams. But as you mentioned, like Double-A in minor league baseball, the most talent's there. There's a lot of talent in JUCO because of, you mentioned, you got to be 3 years at NCAA to play, right? Yeah, and just the amount of grind that these guys go through on a daily basis. They are the team raking up the field. They're tarping. They're doing all that. So being able to, get that experience, doing it all yourself, grinding, it takes you a long way. Tommy Cavanaugh will take over for the top of the third. Coming up next, we got zeros across the board right around the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back in, folks. Top of the third inning in a scoreless game
here from Lake Trust Stadium in Howell, Michigan, home of the Cleary Cougars. And the first pitch slapped out to left field. Liam Pollock, first hit of the day for either team, first base runner as well. We've seen Pollock go the opposite way a week ago when that doubleheader occurred here. He had 4 hits in those 2 games, and 2 of them were the opposite way. Joshua Robinson, the right fielder now, digs into the left side of the box. The third lefty to be matched up, fourth lefty. Shavdarov, Krasuk, Pollock, and now Robinson. And Bruce Jellison waiting on deck sporting those red gloves. 0-1 fastball way outside into the other batter's box there. Evens it up. If you're Pollock over there at first, has a little bit of speed as he plays left field, but want to make sure that Konashevsky goes to the plate as he's a left-handed arm. This one's tapped on the ground to first base. Scoop Harden, gloves in. He's going to touch on the bag and look down Pollock, who moves up to second base. So with a man in scoring position for the first time tonight, Bruce Jellison steps in. We talked about Wabash Valley Community College, how good of a program they are, and just came up short in the JUCO World Series. Jellison was a big part of that as well. Swing and a miss at the first pitch. That was a fastball up near the shoulders. And this is a really good opportunity here for Jellison. He's facing a Division I pitcher in Quinn Konashevsky from Pitt U. And this is a good test in one of his first at-bats with Jetbox, and first here at Lake Trust Stadium as he fouls one away. It's 0-2. Michael Shavdarov waits on deck. He's the leadoff man. He struck out swinging to start the ballgame. Konashevsky kicks and fires. Jam shot, ricochet down the right field line, foul. Great pitch from Quinn on a fastball high and in near the hands. Bruce Jellison as a freshman last year, 366 average. Kid had 175 at-bats, 64 hits, 15 doubles, and 47 RBIs. That's no joke. And a team that won 57 games, hitting 366, man. 0-2 again to Jellison, high and away. And it's always kind of a question. Some guys, when they're playing JUCO ball, if they're going to head back to that school for another year or transfer out. Swing and a miss at the 1-2. Quinn Konashevsky gets his third strikeout here as he takes down Jellison. Fastball high and outside on the corner. It was definitely a strike, and he had to go after it. It's two gone now. Base hit could give the box a lead here in the third inning. Liam Pollock stands there at second. He led off the inning with a single. Cut and a miss from Shavdarov. And you can just see Quinn right now dotting up the upper outer corner to whichever hitter's in. Just threw it high and outside to the righty Jellison, and now goes the opposite way to Shavdarov. There's a slider, misses in near the feet. We talked about it, 4 strikeouts in each of the first 2 starts for Konashevsky this year. He's looking to pick up his 4th right here in just 3 innings of work. Long stare at Pollock down at second base. Cut and a miss from Shavdarov. 1-2 now. Konashevsky sets at the waist, the 1-2 pitch. Just off the plate outside. Home plate umpire Chad Logan left that one alone. Did not miss by much, though. Shavdarov, 308 on the year. He's got 8 hits, a pair of doubles, 1 home run, and 4 RBIs. Looking to give Jetbox a lead early. Swing and a miss. Fastball high. Back-to-back strikeouts to end of the top of the third. 4 now for Quinn Konashevsky. No score. We go bottom 3. Monarchs, Jetbox here from Howell, Michigan. You're listening to the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to beautiful Lake Trust Stadium here at Clear University. Dan Leach alongside Tom Cavanaugh. So we've gotten the third inning cigarette up to 1. The average was 3 quarters now. But now I had a half one, but it was a little longer inning than I thought it was going to be. But a couple things cleared up. I apologize. I was so excited about your explanation about Wabash and how good they are. It's actually Bruce Jealous in this for Wabash and Thomas Sylvester the Cat from Kalamazoo College. But how about Liam Pollock ruining the party? It would have been 9 up, 9 down, but he had to lead off the inning with a single. But I was just watching a little lower when you were calling that great top of the third of Konashevsky's delivery. He is nailing all of his spots. He is throwing hard. And by the way, Peter Riley, the assistant coach filling in today, well, he's always an assistant, as that ball skied to center field. Will be an easy play by Shadarov, by TJ Potkova at the plate. So 1 up, 1 down, 1 pitch, 1 down. But Peter Riley was asking Chad Logan behind the plate, was that pitch that looked like it was a strikeout for the third of the game or third of the inning, that he said, is it out, is it up? And Chad Logan said it's out. So that was really close.
Yeah, barely though.
But 4 Ks so far for Konashevsky. He's dealing 2 for Sylvester, and he's getting some nice flyouts as well. So we are on the bottom of the third, and it's zeros across the board. Just 1 hit so far, and it comes from the 1-7 Jetbox. And now up for the Monarchs, and getting it right to second base is Brody Akers, one of the new players, and throwing him out easy is Baker, or check that, is Kroll. So 2 up, 2 down, and like I said, Tom, I don't want to jinx anything. This might be a really short game.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of weak, lazy contact from both teams, but it's not because these hitters are bad. These 2 pitchers have been dealing so far, and I know Konashevsky has a few more strikeouts, but Sylvester, he's mixing his pitches well, he's throwing the breaking ball in at the hands with 2 strikes, and he's getting weak ground balls and lazy pop-outs. So if you do that, you're going to have yourself an easy time, which he has retired 8 in a row.
And now number 9 hitter got some action in the last game, that Mercy Rule game against the Clippers on Sunday. It's number 27, Jason Dower from Point U, senior from Alpharetta, Georgia. And he chops that one foul. It'll be an 0-2 count. And boy, Sylvester and Konashevsky both dealing. This, to me, might be the first real pitcher's duel you and I have called so far here at Cleary.
100%. And if you're Dower at the plate right now, this is a big pitch you need to pay attention to. And everybody else on the bench, because at 0-2, this is going to be a pitch that he could throw a fastball high and away to chase, but if he goes with the breaking ball here, everybody's eyes need to be on this pitch right here and how it moves.
Here's the 0-2, Sylvester. And that outside, that one was kind of in the same spot where Konashevsky wanted his strikeout in the last inning, but could not get it. 1-2 count on Jason Dower. It would be 9 up, 9 down if he doesn't get on base. That low and outside. So 2-2, and you mentioned an important pitch. He's stayed in there and now got this count even at 2-2.
And with the fastball, and then went with the changeup. So not sure what he's going to do here, 2-2.
And that one is down the pipe, got him looking, and that is the 3rd strikeout for Thomas Sylvester. And we head to the top of the 4th. We are scoreless, just 1 hit combined by both teams so far. Top of the 4th coming up on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back inside Lake Trust Stadium. Dan Leach alongside Tom Cavanaugh. You were making a great point during the mid-inning there about what Konashevsky is doing and kind of how he's fooling batters right now.
Yeah, especially for the left-handed hitters, but from both sides. Konashevsky kind of steps towards the first base side and throws across his body. A little bit of a crossfire across that lane to home plate. And to lefties, it looks like the ball's coming right at their head, and the righties, it looks like it's coming right at them, just like that pitch right there.
And it totally just freezes you. Here's Cody Holtink. First time up, Holtink was a ground or a fly ball out to right. And that ball smacked foul left. It'll be 0-2. And both these pitchers, both Sylvester and Konashevsky, Tom, they're both working ahead of the count in basically every at bat.
I was literally just about to say that, Dan. That was perfect.
Smart guys.
No, you got me. Because everybody's been 0-2. Sylvester and Konashevsky both have started guys out like this.
Well, that's the first kind of pitch that didn't look like it was really even what he was trying to do there. But, you're going to have, it's not going to be every spot you're going to be able to hit there. But, when Konashevsky has shown confidence so far in this early season, he really has kind of been unhittable. And tonight, he had his moments in that last start against the Jetbox. But I'll tell you, tonight it's just lights out so far. That ball a little outside, 2-2. It's a lot different than our last game when everyone, no one could find the zone.
And when he's going down or starting 0-2, he has a leash to be able to throw those balls.
That ball softly hit to center on his horse and making the catch easy is Jason Dower. 2 up, 2 down. Now it is 11 up, out of the 9 batter or 11 batters so far, 10 of them have been out. And this would make it 11-12. Both pitchers dealing early in this one. And that ball smacked right back to center field. And Dower right on his horse. Barely had to move off the bat of Ryan Lux. And it's 11 up. Or check that. It's 11 up, 12 down. We need one more, 12 for 13. We had one hit so far. Leah Pollock had to root it for us.
Yeah, Pollock's was kind of a floater out to left field. That was the first ball that was hit on the screws all night. And what do you know is right to a defender. That's just kind of how the day has been.
That ball inside. But you know what else I'm noticing too, Tom, is both pitchers are working quick too. Konashevsky, right after the batter gets to the box, he's ready to go, ready to throw. He doesn't need a pitch clock. There's one in this league. He doesn't need one, neither does Sylvester.
Yeah, and these young guys need to make sure that they get in a habit of going fast because when they get to Division I ball, maybe even pro ball, they're going to get called for it.
Oh, yeah. There's a strike down the pipe. 4 strikeouts so far for Konashevsky, 3 all looking for Sylvester. It really is been a pitcher's duel through 3 so far, 3+. There's another strike. And now Konashevsky looking for his 5th punch out. It'll be 12 batters up, or 13 up, 12 down. And that one smacked foul, barely foul. Right side of the field. It'll stay 2-2 on number 18. Brady Krzyuk, the first baseman. Brady Krzyuk from Madonna University, the Leica Virgins. What's their mascot again? I already forgot it.
The
Eagles?
Crusaders.
Oh, yeah, the Crusaders, because they like the Crusade. They like to cruise up and down Woodward. He fouls that one back, does Krzyuk. Brady Krzyuk, a sophomore from Clarkston, Michigan, one of 3 Madonna players, along with Kroll and Cummins, who's not here or not playing so far tonight, on this Jetbox Baseball Club, coming in 1-7. Oh, that ball really close to strikeout number 5. I don't know, Tom. What do you think about that one?
Brady Krzyuk learned from Michael Shavdarov's last at-bat. Shavdarov struck out to end the 3rd inning on that same pitch. He left it alone.
And that ball smacked over the head of the second baseman into right field, and Krzyuk is on safely. This is the second hit of the game. They're both by the Jetbox, but both pitchers really have been dealing, though, so we'll see what happens here. The rare base runner so far through the first 3+ innings. And now the shortstop, Nick Kroll, whose father just happens to be the bench coach. And Nick Kroll's first time up, he did hit it on the ground for a quiet out. There's a strike right down the pipe.
Yeah, Krzyuk's not going anywhere over there at first base, so if they just need to touch a bag, 1 or 2.
Absolutely. That ball smacked inside the gap between first and second, and Krzyuk's going to move to second easily, and Kroll on safely, so it's back-to-back hits after both pitchers look pretty untouchable. Now you got something brewing with 2 outs for the Jetbox.
Yeah, just a good piece of hitting there from Nick Kroll. Didn't have to do too much with it. Did not hit the ball too hard, but found the right spot. Kept his hands inside the barrel close to his body, drove it right back up the middle to the right side as it fanned that way. Nice job by Nick. Both of those 2 guys from Madonna getting hits there to put 2 on with 2 out.
Ground down in his first at-bat for Brennan Lux now, who's up out of Shelby Township. He's undecided on his college. He's the younger brother of Braden Lux, that one's back right to first. Scoop Hart's got it, and that's the end of the top of the 4th inning. So no damage done, even with the back-to-back hits. Now 3 hits, though, for the Jetbox. Still no hits for the Monarchs. Can they stop that and change that momentum? Coming up next, we'll find out on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Lake Trust Stadium. Dan Leach alongside Tom Cavanaugh. No hits yet for the Monarchs, but the good news is they haven't allowed any runs yet for the Jetbox. Just 3 hits for them. And now leading off this inning, the leadoff hitter, number 31, Jason Gamini. Second baseman takes one low and outside. Both these pitchers, Thomas Sylvester for the Jetbox and Quinn Konashevsky for the Monarchs, are really dealing. A little trouble there for a minute. Some base hits in the last half inning for Konashevsky, but he still looks pretty damn good. That ball high. It's 2-0 on the leadoff hitter, Jason Gameni.
When you're in a tough situation like this, not many runs or hits being scored, you got to find a way to play small ball, any way on base at all.
And that one fouled back in there for a strike. Gameni's first at bat on the ground. Or no, he went out to right field, right? Or no.
Over at first.
Yeah, over at first. Ground out for Gameni, as most of these Monarchs or Jetbox have done. There's a strike in there. Even the count at 2-2. Sylvester came in 0-1, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 6 walks, 9 strikeouts. And the area's going to go way down. Things stay this way. Same with Konashevsky. And there's the 2-2 that sprayed back. I think that went just over the net. There's a lot of people walking in the area of the foul ball. So you got to keep your head up here at Lake Trust Stadium, Tom.
Yeah, and one thing that I know the players are keeping mind of, but also us as well, that American flag in right field billowing in. So got to put the ball on the ground here.
And Sylvester gets him looking. That's his 4th strikeout. They're all looking so far for Thomas Sylvester out of Kalamazoo College. And now up next from Saginaw Valley State is Ethan Every Rose Has Its Thorn, the left fielder. Ethan Rose, one of the 5 new players that are here because the majority of the team is in Alaska right now. And Alaska. One down. No hit so far for the Monarchs. That high for a ball. Ethan Rose out of Saginaw Valley State, a sophomore, had 20 at-bats, 5 hits for SVSU in his sophomore season. Other new players, Jake Peer, Jason Gabani, Brody Akers is a strike, making a 1-1 count. Joe Turner is come and gone. And also, do we have a 6th new player?
Yes, sir.
Number 9, Jonah St. Antoine from Pittsburgh. Get Tom Cavanaugh and all the great news and notes. Without Tom, I'm a shade of a man. There's a broken bat looper. The first hit, I think, for the Monarchs. It should be, and it is. How's Garrett Pogrovich going to score that one? It's a hit, he says. The no-hitter is over for Sylvester the Cat, and the Monarchs have their first base runner, Tom. I don't know what this is. I don't know what I'm used to anymore because it's been a while since they've had a base runner.
Yeah, that was hitting just the right spot. It was a broken bat off the inside part of the bat, jammed up the middle, and Hultink really didn't have much of a play there. He had to backhand plant off the back foot and power it on to first. And even with a good throw there, I think the speedy Ethan Rose beats that out anyway. So good call on the hit.
I agree. Now Sam Baker, the shortstop. Baker with a ground out in his first time up. This one to second base. Hopefully not a double play. It won't be, but they will get the lead runner, they will get Baker, at first, and the lead runner Rose to second. So, can we see some 2-out magic? We saw it in the walk-off game here, the first game we called against the Leprechauns. We saw it at times against the Jetbox in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Can we see some two-out magic here tonight with the first runner for the Monarchs at second base, only the second runner of the game by either team at second base?
You got your best hitter at the plate, Sam Thompson, coming to the dish. I'd love to see him do something here. And in these tight games right here, that first run can prove crucial.
And Thompson leading the team by a ton with a 500 average, 10 hits, 4 runs, 9 ribbies. And we have not seen any Monarchs home runs here on games that you and I broadcast. And I know there's been a couple home runs by opposing teams.
There's only been 2 on the year. Cooper Vance has one, and Makana Alaso, just 2 on the year for the Monarchs.
And this is one of the larger fields, right, in this Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. There's a strike in there for Sylvester. Runner on second with 2 down. At the plate, Sam Thompson, the catcher. He is the perfect guy you want up in this spot, Tom. And smacks that one foul, and he's down 0-2. And once again, as we would say, basically the majority of this game so far for either Konashevsky for the Monarchs or Thomas Sylvester for the Jetbox ahead in the count, and a lot of times 0-2.
Yeah, it's been, we talked at the break, 0-2, 1-2. We've only seen a handful of 2-2 counts, only 1 full count so far. So
you've got a great scoring system to, kind of hieroglyphic-wise, how you have a little box and it goes around in a circle. It's pretty great. But I'm learning it, so I know exactly how to interpret your genius. All right, here's an 0-2 pitch. And that ball smacked into center field, but it's a short pop fly, and it's caught by Nick Kroll, and that's going to do it. So the threat is over, and we move to the top of the 5th. Just 4 hits in total in this game. It's 0-0 on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back into beautiful Lake Trust Stadium. Dan Leach alongside Tom Cavanaugh. Welcome into all of you watching from around the country and around the world. First of 3 against this Jetbox squad. They come in 1-7. Monarchs 4-6. After getting unfortunately mercied on Sunday, 14-2 to the clip joint. They had gotten walked off the day before in Muskegon. Got to give a shout out to Olivia the Wolf on Twitter. She is a Muskegon Clipper fan and decided, you know what, I'm going to watch the broadcast of the Monarchs, and said that we are by far the best broadcast team she has seen across college baseball. That was very humbling. It was very kind of her. And she was, she said, I hope the score goes better for you next time. But what a great job. And said, that we entertained her and we're making her laugh. That was really nice to see that.
It was incredible. And you always love when you get the good feedback from parents and from listeners from all over the world. But heck, when it's the other team, that's just
another. And they had a broadcast. No offense, they had a broadcaster here.
They did.
A nice little young chap. I mean, I had nothing against him.
Good citizen.
Listen, we got our man Ed Contos for the Royal Leprechauns. He's a huge fan of you and I. He's admitted we're the best broadcast team. Listen, Dan Leach carries a lot of gravitas, but so do you, Tom Kevin.
He's got to get my last name right, but then we'll
Yes, he's got to stop calling you Callanan. Come on, Ed. I mean, if they're not playing right now, Ed's tuned in. He's very, very interested.
Let's see.
All right, so leading off this inning with 7, 8, 9 hitters, Liam Pollock. He had the first hit of the game. Last time up, that outside. Once again, our umpire behind the plate, Chad Logan, the former Fenton boys basketball coach, does this in the offseason. And Bernard Mohammed is in the field. That one back to the backstop, 1-1. And you look at Liam Pollock for this Jetbox team, Oakland University's finest. And Tom has him starred, meaning he's a good player. That one's easy. It's a little easier than your 1-2, 3-2 circle and awesome parallelograms.
Yeah,
and trapezoids.
He's tied for the team lead in RBIs with 4. He's got a low average, but he finds a way on base. He's only struck out 3 times today.
And he strikes out for the 4th time of the season there, and he's looking. That is the 5th strikeout for Konashevsky. And the way this thing is going, you might see both these pitchers possibly throw complete games. I mean, who knows? But so far, so good. They barely thrown any pitches. So Jake Pear looks like is warming up. And that ball right to Scoop Harden. He's going to get the easy out off the bat of Joshua Swiss Family Robinson. And it's 2 up, 2 down. And Konashevsky continues to fillet through this lineup.
I was going to say, I completely agree with you. I think there's a chance Konashevsky goes the distance here with his low number pitch count and just how he's getting these guys out. But as you said, Jake Pear is getting warm in the bullpen, another tall right-hander. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to depend on if he runs into trouble or not.
Right.
I think just in the next couple of innings.
Pitches overall.
Exactly. And because we have 13 players on the roster for tonight's game, they're going to want to get maybe another pitcher in there. But with 2 other games to come, why not have Konashevsky go? Because
save some innings.
Exactly. Your bullpen arms are going to need to be saved for the next couple of games.
Unless they're thinking about, using Konashevsky out of the bullpen in Game 3, which and you only got 13 players, man. That's not a lot. Here's Bruce Jellison from Wabash, that 57-13 team in JUCO, likely the best player on this team. Fouls one back almost to Tom's hand. And Jellison hails from Highland, Michigan, but went all the way out to Wabash. He's a sophomore, and that one sprayed back, so it stays 1-2. Konashevsky has looked so in control. He looked like this early in his last start, but boy, completely different tonight. He is just making batters look silly at times, fooling them. Not a lot of patience shown by the Jetbox either. That one outside, 2-2. Still just 1 hit for the Monarchs, though. Jetbox have 3, but we're seeing zeros across the board here in the top of the 5th. Great to have you along, Dan Leach, Tom Cavanaugh. And a swing and a miss, and that's the 6th strikeout for Konashevsky. And we move to bottom of the 5th inning. Can the Monarchs get on the board? We'll find out coming up next right here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back into beautiful Lake Trust Stadium on a beautiful night for baseball. Dan Leach alongside the great Tom Cavanaugh. And we're seeing a lot of zeros on the board. Just 4 hits so far combined for both teams. Monarchs have 1, Jetbox have 3. They had 2 in the top of the 4th. But now we go bottom 5. And the Monarchs still looking to break through on the scoreboard. Both Konashevsky for the Monarchs with 6 Ks and 62 pitches. And Thomas Sylvester with 4 Ks. All looking for this Jetbox team have been looking at a very high level. And to lead things off here for the Monarchs, Brody Akers, check that, Scoop Harden. Mark Scoop Harden. We got a lot of different numbers for the Monarchs with half the team in Alaska. Right back to the pitcher. It's off Sylvester's glove, and Harden's going to be safe. That was just an unlucky situation because it was knocked down in the awkward enough way that Harden, with a little speed there, got to first. But, at least Sylvester knocked it down. How did you see that play develop?
That was the hardest ball that's been hit all day by the Monarchs. And it found his glove originally, but he didn't close it in time. I don't even think he realized the ball was in his glove at that point. So it pops out, and it has a little spin that trickles out towards shortstop, third base, and it just kept going away from him. And Harden's pretty fast as well, so he was able to scream down the line there and get there.
And now Connor Cornwell for the second time at DH. He grounded out his first time up, but now he's got a runner on, nobody out, and this is the first time that anybody's had a runner on. Actually, we did have that first hit of the game. Liam Pollock led off the inning with a hit, but other than that, no one's had a runner on with no outs.
Yeah, 10 straight retired for Sylvester. 2 hits in the last 4 batters for the Monarchs.
And that ball smacked to center. It could fall in the gap, but it does. And here comes Harden around second. Chugging for third, and with a stand-up double, Harden's going to try to score. He comes, here's the play. He's in, he's safe. Monarchs take the lead. What base running by Scoop Harden. Clip that, Mark Harden Sr. Holy smoke factories. What a run around the base paths by Mark Harden, but also give some credit to Connor Cornwell, the DH. He did his job with a stand-up double. Nobody
will understand how tiring it is to run from first to home plate until they actually do it. My goodness, that ball wasn't even bouncing up against the wall. Shavdarov caught the ball on one bounce in the gap, and Harden was moving around those bases. Nice job over there by David Robinson at third base, telling him, giving him the go sign to score. Aggressive base running, that's what's going to win you a tight ball game like this.
He was doing the locomotion, was Mark Harden. You know, Shavdarov, it wasn't like he was that far off. I mean, obviously the ball falls in, but he got on his horse pretty quickly, and just great base running by Scoop Harden.
And make the Jetbox make a play. You force the throw there. It was a good one, but you got to force him to make a play there, and just slid in under the tag.
And here's TJ Potkova. Potkova flew out to center his first time up. Now he's got a runner on second and a scoring opportunity for Potkova. The junior from Henry Ford Community College, they checked the runner at second in Cornwell. And you look at Potkova, who we mentioned normally plays first base, today playing in the outfield. He had 143 at-bats for Henry Ford Community College. Definitely a really good player for this Jetbox, or this Monarchs team. And boy, they need him. They only have 13 players, while half the team is in Alaska, or more than half the team. That ball fouled back right in front of us. Thank God for that protective netting, or it could have hit that nice fan's noggin. Remember the days where there was no netting? I mean, obviously there's always netting behind home plate, but now there's netting in hockey, there's netting in bait, everywhere. I have no problem with it. I want safety. But as a kid, it was a totally different experience going to Tiger Stadium or going to Joe Louis Arena. And thank God, you know, because we had so many incidents, that ball smacked to right. Well, that one drop, it does. And it's going to score the run easy. It goes over the head of Brady Krasuk, and scoring easily and chugging for third is Potkova with the triple. The triple Lindy scores Connor Cornwell, and the Monarchs have opened the floodgates, Tommy.
Another hit, and right fielder out there, Joshua Robinson, did not play the turf the right way. When you're playing on turf and that ball is coming directly down, not on a line, but directly down, it's going to bounce like crazy. And it did, went right over his head, and he's going to learn for next time, but you can't make a mistake like that, because you're right. Floodgates are starting to open, and another runner on third base with nobody out.
A full triple Lindy by TJ Potkova, and boy, after one hit through the first 4 innings, you've got 3 in this inning alone and 2 runs in, and it's 2-0 Monarchs. And you got to give credit to Sylvester. He's pitched pretty well, swinging a miss there on Brody Akers, the third baseman. He pitched so well, but obviously this is where the second time through that lineup, the Monarchs have really been more patient and maybe, kind of were timing the pitches a little better, and they've had a lot of success smacking the ball in the outfield.
And he's not even at 50 pitches yet. That's how good he was through those first several innings.
So economical, Tom. And that one smacked to right field again. That time making the catch, though, is Krasuk, and going back to third is TJ Potkova. So 1 down, still a runner on third with less than 2 outs. And a great chance to add on a run here. And up now, the number 9 hitter, Jason Dower. And Dower did strike out looking. Tom has taught me a lot of things, because I haven't called baseball in a while. And boy, it's a dream working with the great Tommy Cavanaugh. I've memorized, not memorized, but I've gotten really good with the 1 through 9s. So I'm
It's
doing
tough to
100.
get. It's tough
It
to
is.
get.
I mean, I never used to keep score myself. That ball smacked to center. That ball is going to fall. That's going to score the run easy. Nice hit there by Jason Dower. And coming in and scoring is Potkova, 3-0 Monarchs. But you have really just given me a crash course, because you're at such a high top level of genius with all your hieroglyphics and all the. I mean, scoring baseball is not easy. And I had called baseball for, I would say, 15 years. Boy, working with you is a true dream. That's all I got to say about it.
I appreciate that a lot, Dan.
It's the truth.
I can credit a lot of my time.
That ball chopped to the pitcher, or the catcher, and he's going to throw him out. But runner on second is checked. That's now 2 down, but 3 runs in, 3-0. Go ahead, Tommy.
Yeah, I credit a lot of my knowledge for this scorebook stuff from my time at Michigan State. Lori Ann Dickerson was my teacher for a couple years, and her husband, obviously, play-by-play voice of the Detroit Tigers, Dan Dickerson. He gave me the crash course. I got to see his entire scorebook, so I was just flooded with information and knowledge. So I really give a shout out to those two and being able to grab this same exact book that they use. All the
so you're saying good things do happen at Michigan State? Who knew? Yeah, Dan Dickerson, longtime colleague of mine, and working with him for years at the Ticket. He's one of the best. Not just calling baseball games, he's just one of the best guys.
I agree, 100%.
And so is Jimmy Price and guys like Craig Monroe have filled in, and so many others. It was a pleasure being able to cover the Tigers for the years that I did. I mean, Jeff Rieger was the main reporter, but I did a lot of fill-in work for him and spent a lot of time with Dan and Jim in the booth. That was going to drop again, and it's 3 of the last 4 have hit, and it's chugging around second and now third, and scoring easily is Dower, so it's now 4-0. And boy, the floodgates really have opened, and you got to give credit there to Jason Gamini, who is continuing to really kind of rock Sylvester after he looked so good through the first 4, Tom.
He really did. He retired the first 9 batters, and this is going to be number 8 coming to the plate right now. So, as you said, the floodgates opening here in the 5th.
And it's Baker showing bunt. Sam Baker, the shortstop, first time up, grounded out. Baker does, on this season, have some nice at-bats. He is only averaging 200, but he battled in that first game, the second game of the doubleheader against the Jetbox. He does have 5 at-bats coming into the night. He's had some decent at-bats, but really hasn't really paid off for him yet. Maybe you can here with 2 down and a runner on first and already 4 runs in. And 5 hits after just 1 through the first 4 innings. And that ball smacked to the third baseman. This should be an easy play for Bruce Jellison. And he makes it, and that's the end of the inning, but not before 5 hits and 4 runs. The Monarchs lead it 4-0, and Quinn Konashevsky comes back next as Tom Cavanaugh takes over in the top of the 5th. Top of the 6th, excuse me, on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network.
Top of the 6th inning. Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Cavanaugh bringing you through this half inning. What a bottom half of the 5th for the Michigan Monarchs. Connor Cornwell, TJ Potkova, Jason Dower, and Ethan Rose, all with RBIs to give the Michigan Monarchs a 4-0 lead, and Quinn Konashevsky continues to deal. He's up 0-1. Strike call to Michael Shavdarov, 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts swinging today. He's down 0-2 once again. Konashevsky deals. That fastball just off the plate outside. And when you look at Quinn and how he's been mixing up pitches, he's going breaking ball first, setting up for strike 2 with the fastball, and then going to the outside. Here's a ground ball on the right side, gobbled up by the second baseman, Gamini. Toss on to first is a little low, but they get the runner. 1 up, 1 down as Shavdarov puts it in play for the first time today. Here's Cody Holtink, 0 for 2, a pair of flyouts, 1 to right, and the other one a liner to center. Konashevsky just at 66 pitches through 5 1/3. That's incredible. First pitch misses down and away, but back to the point on the mixing of pitches, the sequencing from Konashevsky. That's something that he's going to learn a lot at the Division I level in the ACC. 1-0. On the ground to shortstop. It's going to be Baker. He picks it up. Guns to first. 2 up, 2 down quickly. As he gets 2 rollovers. Does Konashevsky. And you look at this Monarch defense. The first couple of games we saw a few booted balls, some mental errors, but they've really cleaned it up as they're progressing through the season onto week 2, week 3, and everybody's becoming a lot more comfortable with each other. But also this turf does play a role. You're not going to get any bad hops out here at Lake Trust Stadium, home of the Cleary Cougars. 1 ball, no strikes to Ryan Lux. It's very unorthodox there as that one misses again inside 2-0. You don't see this often from Konashevsky, and as we talked about, Jake Peer out of Southgate, Michigan from Henry Ford Community College getting warm in the bullpen as a strike set in there by Quinn. So a few guys maybe getting in later in this game, but I don't see why you don't leave Konashevsky in for at least another inning if he finishes this one off nicely. Here's a bloop into right center field that's going to drop for a single. Ryan Lux gets the first hit since the 4th inning for the Box. So a 2-out base runner for Jetbox as they trail by 4 now. Take you back to that 5th inning. It was 3 straight hits to start things. Scoop Harden, Connor Cornwell, TJ Potkova rattled them off against Thomas Sylvester. Big swing and a miss from Brady Kruzuk on the first pitch. Kruzuk today a single and a line out. Konashevsky checks the runner, now whips a fastball to the opposite side of the plate there, in and out of the glove of Sam Thompson behind the dish. Konashevsky getting another left-on-left matchup here. He's been great all day, just 1 hit against lefties. That was Liam Pollock back in the 3rd. Long look at the first. This one's on the ground. Gonna call it a foul ball, though, off the foot of Kruzuk. Gonna say it hit him in that right foot before trickling on to first base. 4-0 Monarchs. We're in the top of the 6th. Monarchs looking to get back to their winning ways. Lost 2 in a row. Are now 4-6, and the Jetbox looking to pick up just win number 2 on the year. They are 1-7. Runner goes. Here's a fly ball out of play. So Ryan Lux taking off. Love to see a catcher with some wheels. He got a pretty good jump there against the lefty. Another beautiful night for baseball. My partner Dan Leach already mentioned it. It is probably one of the hottest days of the year today until we get into July. 1-2 again to Kruzuk. Down and away for a ball. 2s are wild here in the 6th inning. We said Kruzuk got freshman honors with Madonna last year. 12 home runs in his first year of college baseball. Konashevsky picks over to the runner at first, Lux. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Monarchs. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for Jetbox. They're trying to get on the board here. Runner goes, the 2-2 outside. The throw down to second from Thompson. Picked, the tag, not in time. Stolen bag by Ryan Lux. Nice throw by Thompson behind the dish. It was a little bit to his glove side. He had to move his body around to make the catch and throw at the same time, and it just gave Ryan enough time to sneak into second base. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Man in scoring position for Jetbox. This ball pulled foul again. What an at-bat from Brady Kruzuk with the sunglasses on. We saw Lux already steal a bag, so he's probably going to score on a single. Standard depth in the outfield, maybe a little deep in left for Ethan Rose. The 3-2 again. Swing and a miss! Breaking ball down and in. Sits down Kruzuk for out number 3. 4-0. Monarchs on top. We go to the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network.
Welcome back into Lake Trust Stadium. Tom Cavanaugh broke a record in that top of the sixth inning. Longest inning he's been able to call. There was a 2-cigarette inning. But kids don't smoke. Only candy cigarettes. But Quinn Konashevsky continues to work at a high level. We'll see if that's the end of the night for him. But it is the end of the night for Thomas Sylvester the Cat. We'll get you his final numbers in a moment. But now in number 27, the right-handed pitcher, Mason Glenny out of Northwood University. He's a junior from Saline, Michigan, Tom.
Yeah, Glenny's been pretty solid. 2 outings so far this year. He's given up 4 hits in 5 innings. 7 walks, though, and only 2 strikeouts. So he's had control issues through his time. Going to need to hit the zone here. And Thomas Sylvester, it was a great start for him, but got roughed up late. You know, he was retired the first 9 batters, Dan. I mean,
right.
He was cruising through the first 3 innings, but hit a big rough patch in that 5th.
Yep, and gave up 6 hits in all, 4 runs, 4 earned, did strike out 4, all looking. Faced 21 batters in 5 innings of work. But as you said, and we've talked about throughout the broadcast, he was lights out for the majority of this game till that final last inning. And that's where the Monarchs opened the floodgates, scored 4 runs on 5 hits. And now looking for more against the new pitcher, Mason Glenny, leading things off. Number 10, Sam Thompson. And Sam Thompson's favorite baseball player growing up, Chipper Jones. You might wonder why. Well, let me tell you why, because he's from Bremen, Georgia. 51 at-bats for Michigan State, Tom Cavanaugh's alma mater and favorite place on earth. A little gross, but that one smacked to center field. Can Shadarov get it? He can. It falls in front of him, and it's a base hit, a base knock for Sam Thompson, who leads the team with over a 500 average so far. This is the 11th game that the Monarchs have played, and boy, is he showing that he can hit it everywhere on this diamond.
Yeah, I mean, he's facing some talent that he's seen at the Division I level last year, but he's also facing Division II, Division III guys, and we might have a balk here.
Yep, I think we do. We have a balk, a rare balk has been called, and guess what? Mason Glenny not too pleased. He's like, what, Chad Logan? You said what? Here comes Jetbox head coach Steve Herbst, head for the mountains of Herbst. He is definitely with an inquisitive look on his face, but gets halfway out and starts walking back, Tom.
So you kind of see from the hand gestures of home plate umpire Chad Logan, he's saying that Glenny on the mound went to either his nose or his mouth before re-engaging with his baseball pants. So if you're going to lick your hand or wipe on your nose for a little bit of oil, you have to re-engage and touch your baseball pants before gripping the ball. He did not do that. That awarded the balk.
Yep, and Glenny was kind of shaking his head there. That ball skied on the infield. Now in foul territory and making the play easy is Brady Kazook. So it's the first out of the inning for this Jetbox team, already trailing 4-0. And you don't see balks often these days, Tommy.
No, you don't. If you were checking out the TCU Oral Roberts game today, Oral Roberts actually gave up 2 balks with a runner on third, allowed 2 of the 6 runs to come in and score against him. It was incredible.
Connor Cornwell with a double last time up. He's 1 for 2. He scored as well. Part of that 4-run 5th inning with 5 hits. So now you got Thompson on second and a strike down the pike by Mason Glenny. And, you know, you got to give Mason Glenny credit. He was definitely a little perturbed. He shook his head. I mean, nothing egregious towards Chad Logan, but then settled down and got a loud infield out for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, you got to rebound after something like that kind of messes with your mental.
Yeah, it's rare you get called for a balk. That went outside, evens the count at 1-1. And you've got Connor Cornwell, designated hitter out of Saginaw Valley State University in Sterling Heights. Good old sophomore. One of the 6 or 7 sophomores on the squad. Got a lot of juniors and seniors, and a few freshmen, but mainly juniors and seniors play and dot this league. But a lot of teams have different, balance as far as what the years of the different players are. But it seems like you've got probably the least freshmen, and then obviously sophomores, but the most juniors and seniors.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Here comes the 2-1. That ball outside. It is a 3-1 count, a rare 3-ball count on the Monarchs or the Jetbox by either pitching staff so far tonight.
Yeah, we might see a reliever also for the Monarchs next inning, so we can see how these second pitchers for each team will fare against the lineup.
Here's the 3-1 man in motion at second, and it's a walk anyway, but stealing easy is Thompson. He's at third. And now you got runners on the corners with 1 down. And coming up, T.J. Potkova Out of Henry Ford Community College, the junior from Monroe, Michigan, had a nice, healthy 143 at-bats, Tom, in his junior year for Henry Ford Community College. What kind of program they got out there at HF?
They're pretty solid. They compete to go to Grand Junction, Colorado, and compete in the JUCO World Series along with Lansing CC. They're very good. And then you got a few other schools. Grand Rapids Community College, they're also pretty solid. So Michigan Junior College Baseball might surprise you at times, but they got some pretty legit programs. And they, Lansing Community College for sure, has made the College World Series a few times.
Here's the 0-1 pitch on Podkova. Glennie delivers right down the middle, 0-2. So how would Henry Ford Community College do against Wabash? That's my big question. If you're just joining us, Wabash 57-13. Jellison from the Jetbox went to that school. They were really good. Probably be a rough night for Henry Ford.
It might be.
The Fighting Model Ts.
Everybody's competing. It would be closer than you think, but my goodness, that Wabash team, year after year, they send guys to SEC, ACC. They're getting kids drafted, and that's every year. There's such good turnover with that program.
Here's the 1-2 delivery from Glennie. Podkova trying to bring in another run and make it 5-0 for this Monarchs team. Runners on the corners, that one outside, 2-2. Evens up the count. We got twos across the board. 7 hits now for the Monarchs, 4 for the Jetbox, but more importantly, 4 runs for Michigan. That one smacked to center field. Should be an easy play for Dower. And tagging and scoring easily is Thompson, so he did a great job by stealing second on that walk. He's wearing that Michigan State helmet, making Tom Cavanaugh proud, and it is 5-0 Monarchs. And you got to love this, Tom. This is a team that got, let's be honest, waxed. Last time they were here on Sunday against the Clippers, 14-2, they got mercy. Then half the team, or more than half the team, went to Alaska. You got 13 guys on the roster, including these new players, and they, aside from obviously the great performance by Quinn Konashevsky, he might be done for the night with his 6 Ks. They've been great so far tonight.
Yeah, it took them a few innings, but they've gotten back to their swinging ways, and it's a great response from a 14-2 loss. They've put up 5 so far here, and if they can continue to score in each and every inning, who knows? Maybe we can end this in 7 if they continue to slap runs on the board.
Brody Akers up for the 3rd time. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Ground out, fly out, and it's a 2-0 count. Nice save beyond the plate there by Ryan Lux. New pitcher in on relief of Thomas Sylvester, who was great for the first 4 innings, or first 3 innings, and not so good in the 4th. That 5th, excuse me, that 4-run 5th with 5 hits. After giving just 1 hit before that. There's a strike down the pipe on the fastball. 2-1 on Brody Akers. Sylvania, Ohio, 66 hits, 39 ribbies for Walsh University, a D2 school. And that ball smacked to the second baseman on a rope, and that will end the inning. So 1 run in, it's now 5-0 Monarchs. We head to the top of the 7th inning on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back into beautiful Lake Trust Stadium. Here on a beautiful night for baseball, and a beautiful night if you're a Monarchs fan so far. Dan Leach alongside Tom Cavanaugh, and the Monarchs add a run. Make it 5-0. We have a new pitcher, though, and Quinn Konashevsky was fantastic, Tom. He is going to take a seat, though, for our new pitcher and new player as of today, number 24, Jake Peer, out of Southgate, Michigan, and a Henry Ford Community College Hawkster. I thought they were the Fighting Model Ts. He's a sophomore, 27 innings pitched, 32 hits, 17 earned. He was 0-2 on the season. And here's the final numbers on Quinn Konashevsky. He was fantastic. 6 innings, scattered 4 hits, no runs, none earned, no walks, 7 strikeouts on 22 batters faced. That was the best outing I've seen since we've called the game together here at home for the Monarchs.
Oh, yeah, from either team, whether it was the Leprechauns, Jetbox, the Clippers. It doesn't matter who the opponent was. That was the best outing we've seen, and that was such a much-needed start for this team because when you go down, you give up 14 runs, the best thing you can do is go 6 scoreless innings with a big lead.
Well, Tom, we talked about it as swinging and breaking as bad as Kroll. That thing flew everywhere. Hopefully everyone's all right.
No, I don't think he broke it. I think it just fell out of his hands.
I thought that looked like it split in half.
No, he needs some pine tar, man.
He does. He needs some George Brett action. But we talked about, Konashevsky and how there's, limits on different, Konashevsky for Pittsburgh University. When you sign up for this league, the team might sign off on a certain amount of innings pitched or a certain amount of pitches per game. He probably could have completed this game tonight, but why risk it when you have 13 guys right now?
Exactly.
And there's a ball outside, 1-1 on Nick Kroll, the shortstop. Kroll so far tonight, 0 for 2. And that ball just out of the reach of Sam Thompson. It's a 2-1 count. Kroll, whose father is the bench coach, Jeremy Kroll, out of Madonna University, senior from Milford, Michigan, where the moms are aplenty. Sylvester was the starter for this Jetbox squad. That ball skied on the infield, another one right to the first baseman, and it is Scoop Hard making the play easy. Sylvester went 5 innings, scattered 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, all in that 5th inning, 4 strikeouts, all looking on 21 batters faced. And now in for him is Mason Glennie, who pitched a decent inning last time out, gave up a run. Now we've got brand new player Jake Peer, number 24. We got Brennan Lux up now. He's 0 for 2 on the night as well. And that outside. We also had a balk in the last inning, Tom, and still tickled pink by that one.
That was a weird one, too. Usually it's on the footing or like a twitch in the arms of the motion, but it was when he went to go lick his fingers.
And there's a strike by Jake, pear-shaped pitcher. It's 1-1. I don't know if you're a fan of Pears. I love Pears.
I like him.
I haven't had one in a long time, though. I used to love him as a kid. That ball low. 2-1 count on Brennan Lux. Brennan Lux, of course, the brother of Ryan Lux. Ryan Lux, the senior out of Eastern Michigan on this Jetbox team. And Brennan Lux undecided for his next college adventure. He's a junior. So a year younger than his brother. Got to be nice playing on the same team with your brother. You one time played with 4 of your cousins. I'm just kidding.
No, I got to broadcast for my brother 2 different summers.
That had to be pretty emotional.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and he actually in his first game had a walk-off double, so that was pretty fun.
Hopefully that was clipped. That ball to the shortstop, trying to beat it out, and Lux can't do it. Nice play there by Sam. The Baker did it. And it's 2 down, 2 up, 2 down, and boy, the Monarchs pitching staff, aside from a hiccup barely here and there, has just mowed down Jetbox batters tonight.
Yeah, compare this to what happened the other night. It was really the bullpen's fault for the collapse in that ball game, and it was walk after walk after walk. And right now, everybody's commanding the zone, pounding strikes, and it's working out well for the Monarchs.
And here's Liam Pollock after Konashevsky to give up a hit for the first several batters, had the first hit of the game. Back in, what inning was that, my friend? The 3rd. That ball smacked foul. Yeah, he was working on 9 up, 9 down, but of course Pollock had to ruin it. It was 9 up, it was 10 up, 9 down. Here comes the 1-1 delivery from Jake Peer. And it's another foul back to the left there by Liam Pollock, the designated hitter. Liam Pollock out of Oakland University, which is where the Jetbox play. Most likely played in his home games at his own school. He's from Auburn Hills, too. And that ball spices its way back here towards our broadcast position. Thanks so much for joining us. Dan Leach alongside Tom Cavanaugh. We got Garrett Primetime Pogrovich. We got Kyle. We got, what's his name? St. Nick. St. Nick's my guy. Top-level PA announcer. Here's the 1-2. Not even close. And evens it up at 2-2. And, Tom, throughout the game tonight, I've really felt that the Monarchs batters, even though early they obviously were striking out or not getting on base, they've been more patient. The Jetbox have not been patient a lot tonight.
That's a great point that you bring up. I know we've seen, this is another 3-2 count that we're going to see right here. But, yeah, when you look up and down the scorecard here, I'm looking at a lot of 0-1, 0-0, maybe 2-0, 0-2 counts. So they're kind of jumping on it, not seeing many pitches, but it's working out in the Monarchs' favor because of it.
Ooh, that ball was a definitely questionable ball or strike, and Chad Logan awards the base to Liam Pollock. So 1 on with 2 down, and here comes Joshua Swiss Family Robinson, the right fielder, and Robinson so far 0 for 2, as most of the Jetbox batters are. Not to be a broken record. I know we got some Jetbox fans watching, and welcome to you. You're, as we say with humility, watching the best broadcast team in the league. I mean, just take Olivia the Wolf.
Yeah.
She's a big Clipper fan. She said we were.
It was self-deemed at first, and now we can
now
actually
it's just legitimate.
Yeah.
Now we've manifested.
Got some evidence.
Now we appreciate all fans, one and all, joining us, no matter what you're a fan of team-wise. And obviously we got a lot of players from around the country, so we have people tuning in from California, and Pittsburgh, and Georgia, and we love all you, and it means a lot to be able to connect with you on this broadcast each and every home game here for the Monarchs. And as I've said many times, and will continue to, working with Tom has been a true delight. And Tom has told me working with me is the best times of his life. So, I mean, I'm grateful for that, too.
Seriously.
3-0, though. 3 straight balls here on Joshua Robinson. You don't want to lose the momentum here if you're Jake Peer and the Monarchs here in the top of the 7th in a 5-0 game. And that ball down the pipe. Fastball for a strike. Looking all the way there was Robinson. Joshua Robinson, a senior out of Davenport University from DeWitt, Michigan. Nice area. 3-1, 2 down, runner on first. Monarchs up 5-0. And a swing and a miss. Great pitch there by Jake Perry. You could say he peered it in there.
Yeah, he's coming right back after going 3-0. He's got 2 outs here, so that's kind of sitting at the back of his mind. He knows that he doesn't have to do too much because he's got 2 gone. A competitive pitch here on 3-2 will get the job done.
A rare 3-2 count by any batter tonight. Here comes the delivery. Oh, and another borderline pitch is a ball. Oh, I mean, we love Chad Logan. It's nothing against him. But we got a pretty good vantage point from up here, and those were really close. A little outside, though. And now you got 2 on, 2 down, and coming up is the number 9 hitter from Wabash, who we've discussed at length tonight. It's a great, or check that, we got a pinch hitter. No more Wabash action. It's number 33. He's religious, Colin Priest. And guess where he's from? Michigan. U of M, the freshman from Mount Dora, the Explorer, Florida.
Oh, shout out Mount Dora. That's a good place.
I mean, I think are you going to be visiting that place on part of your cross-country trek for the next week? I know you're going out to Long Beach. Why don't you go to Florida first? Take a train across the country. Slow train coming. You're going to see a rocket scientist, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm going to miss you. Make sure you give me some kind of souvenirs.
Oh, I will.
Maybe like an actual rocket. That one found back by the pitch hitter, Colin Priest. We saw him in the doubleheader where the Jetbox and Monarchs split. The first game was unfortunately a mercy rule by the Jetbox over the Monarchs, 15-4. Second game, 8-2. A little payback by Michigan on Friday night. And a swing and a miss. Nice pitch there. Fastball from Peer. And now it's 0-2 with 2 on, 2 down. The shutout still intact. And you know Jake Peer is on a relief of Konashevsky. Would love to end this thing right here.
Another fastball up near the letters should get the job done. It's the same spot that Priest went after last time.
Oh, and he strikes it out looking. Strikeout for Peer. A tasty pair, if you will, and the threat is over. Shutout still intact. We move to the bottom of the 7th. Monarchs all over the Jetbox, 5-0 on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back to beautiful Lake Trust Stadium here on the campus of Clary University. Dan Leach alongside the great Tommy Cavanaugh. Great to have you along for the ride. It's been all Monarchs all day long after a slow start by both teams, but a huge 4-run fifth inning. And then they added one in the sixth, and now we move to the bottom of the seventh. 5-0 Monarchs. Back up for the Jetbox is Mason Glennie on the mound, and leading off for the Monarchs is Jason Dower, the number 9 hitter, the center fielder. Dower so far tonight struck out looking and had a single and a run scored last time up, so 1 for 1 on the evening. Part of that 4-run explosion. There's a swing and a miss. Nice pitch there by Mason Glennie. Glennie in on relief of Thomas Sylvester, the Cat, who was fantastic through the first 4 innings, but really started to struggle in a big way in the 5th. That ball outside, 1-1. And this is, as we mentioned, Tom, the day off on Monday after the Mercy game against the Clippers on Sunday. Got a chance to relax. You know, the majority of this team did leave to go to Alaska, but these guys have seen, we're watching batting practice and fielding practice earlier. There's a strike there, 1-2 on the Monarchs' Jason Dower. But it seems like they're really having a lot of fun, even with half this team gone in Alaska. And a swing and a miss down on strikes. Nice pitch there. Nice at bat in sequence by Mason Glennie. But, you know, it's a short 2-month jaunt. You're going to have some bad nights. We mentioned it was the perfect timing for a team to have a day off after a bad, blowout where they lost 14-2. But I'll tell you, when you've got a short roster now, this is kind of where guys can step up and really, when the other guys get back, maybe be more of a contributor than they were before.
100%. And some of these guys that are here are big-time players that have made an impact early on, but also a lot of guys haven't really because they haven't had the opportunity. They've been splitting time. Remember, Potkova and Thielman were at first base kind of battling that out for a little bit. And then you have Akers, who's new. You got Ethan Rose, who's new. Sam Baker just joined the team as well, and Dower. So some of these guys that are new can definitely surge into that starting lineup once head coach Caldwell gets back, as well as pitching coach Adam Castillo. You're right. This could be big in these 3 games here.
Ooh, Gamini almost gets hit there. He does get hit. Chad Logan awards him first. I was going to say he was 0-3 before that. Well, now he's on base. And Gamini, that was probably barely touching the jersey, but he did get hit. It looked like he almost got hit. And obviously, from our vantage point, not as good as Chad Logan, so he awards him first base.
Yeah, sometimes you see it, sometimes you hear it. So home plate umpire Chad Logan there might have heard like a clip on the batting gloves or maybe a flick of the jersey maybe. So either one of those two is what really makes that call happen, and he's very animated letting him know that he's awarded first.
And here's the freshman, Ethan. Every rose has its thorn. He's got a 1 for 2 night with a ribby and 2 hits. And 1 down here, runner on first for Ethan Rose, the freshman from Middle Tennessee State, one of the better players on this team. He takes a strike down the pipe. And quickly ahead of the count is Mason Glennie. Actually, I'm sorry, he was 2 for 3 is Ethan Rose. And now the 0-2 delivery. Glennie looks in, gets the sign from Ryan Lux, and a swing and a foul back. And Skyer springboarding into second would have had it easily if it wasn't fouled back. Is Gameni, who got hit by a pitch. It's been all Monarchs since that 5th inning. It was all pitchers until the 5th inning, Tom. And I mentioned, we've talked about how the majority of the team with Kelton Caldwell and pitching coach Adam Castillo's in Alaska. They left yesterday. All I requested was them to bring me a fish back. I want some kind of halibut or something frozen, and a swing and a miss down on strikes goes Ethan Rose. And now up will be Sam Baker, the last chance here in the 7th for the Monarchs to add some more runs.
I'm just trying to figure out how they'd get that on the plane.
What I think they should do is freeze dry it, put it in some kind of a styrofoam container with dry ice,
okay,
and then I'm good. And I'm talking like, I don't want like a small halibut. I want like a big halibut. And I will definitely, fillet it, fry it up, and share it with you. We might do lemon butter. We might do soy sauce and teriyaki, but it's going to be great.
I do a mid-game meal. That sounds good.
Well, the great movie Insomnia by Christopher Nolan, I know they went to the halibut capital of the world. I'm forgetting the name of the town right now. What a great movie that was. For some reason, we were bringing up Insomnia earlier. All I know is that Oppenheimer, Nolan's new movie that comes out in July about, obviously, Robert J. Oppenheimer, the inventor, part of the invention team the atomic bomb, one of the main guy behind it, is going to be sick. 1-0 here on Baker, and make that 2-0. Baker 0 for 3 on the night so far.
Right now, you see Glenny's location a little bit wild at the moment. Already hit a batter, got the strikeout, but...
And that ball smacked to left. It should be an easy play for Brennan Lux. He gets under it and makes... Oh, and he drops it! He drops it. It's speeding, deeming around the bases and scoring easily is the Monarchs. And wow, what do you know? Jason Gamini, who got hit by a pitch, comes all the way home. And that, Garrett Pogrovich, has got to be an error. Garrett Pogrovich has ruled it's an error, Tom Cavanaugh. Brennan Lux was under that ball, should have made that play. Did he lose it in the dying sun?
I think either one of two things. We're definitely getting into that twilight type of sky that we've talked about ad nauseum for the last few games and stuff, but it's either that or he took his eye off the ball at the last second. One of the two.
I thought that was going to be an easy play. It should have been, but instead it's the 6th run for the Monarchs. They want to get the extra point here for a touchdown with a runner on second, and that's on the ground to third. And it doesn't end the inning. Nice run out there by Thompson. And it's going to bring up Scoop Harden, who was the hero of the first ever home game in Monarchs history here at Cleary when they got it done against the Leprechauns on June 7th. I know his dad is tuned in intently now, seeing if he can add that extra point for the full touchdown. Scoop Harden's favorite player, Mike Trout. And that ball is fouled back towards us. Also, the Monarchs hang on here, Tom. He loves Chipotle post-game. So we'll get this guy a steak burrito, maybe some nachos with some queso. And that ball smacked to left, and he does make it a touchdown. Nice hit there by Scoop Harden. Driving in Sam Baker, and it's 7-0. And as you mentioned, Tom, if they score 3 more, the game's over.
It's one swing of the bat right here could finish it.
Yep, home run ends it. We haven't had a home team home run yet here by the Monarchs. It's Connor Cornwell. Why would it be Connor Cornwell to walk off the mercy rule?
He's got a double.
He does have a Dubsky, Saginaw Valley State's own sophomore catcher, and he hits it, chops it to short. That's a little less than I thought he was going to do it. He gets thrown out back. Another run, or 2 runs added for the Monarchs. They now have 9 hits. They're up 7-0. We move to the top of the 8th, right here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. And welcome back to Lake Trust Stadium. Monarchs had 2 in the 7th. They've had 4 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. Zeros across the board score-wise for this Jetbox team. New pitcher, one of the new players, as the majority of this team is in Alaska, if you're just joining us, playing a 5-game showcase. It's number 23, Joe Turner's come and gone. And those of you thespians out there, I don't know if you are, Tom, I'm a big thespian. I went to the Ashland, Oregon Shakespeare Festival, and a legendary playwright had a play called Joe Turner's Come and Gone. It was one of the first plays I had seen as a youngster, so I'm very excited about Joe Turner. He's from Sterling Heights, Henry Ford Community College, another Hawkster. He is a sophomore with 40 at-bats and 10 hits, but of course, obviously, pitching in this situation.
He must be a two-way guy.
Yeah, don't know many, only about 3 or 4 two-way guys on this team. We'll get his Henry Ford Community College pitching numbers in a moment here, but it's all Monarchs. They had a chance there with Connor Cornwell at the plate in the bottom of the 7th. If he had hit a home run, the game would have been over. It would have been a walk-off mercy, which you don't see often, much like the balk we saw a couple innings ago.
We saw it here. The Jetbox walked us off.
Yep, they
were the home team for that first game.
That was a real gross parade.
Yeah.
All right, leading things off here, Michael Shudarov, the leadoff hitter and the center fielder. And so far tonight, 2 strikeouts and a ground out, so 0 for 3. He has not had the kind of offensive night he would have liked. Shudarov from Davenport, one of the better players on this Jetbox team, a sophomore from Warren, Michigan, averaging 276 on the season. And that ball inside almost hit him. And a 1-1 count. Joe Turner, as we mentioned, one of the 6 new players the Monarchs have brought in with the majority of the team in Alaska. Only 13 players on the entire roster. So as you said astutely, Tom, swinging a miss down to 1-2 count here. Astutely earlier in the game, you said everyone's playing.
Oh yeah, with 13 guys, everybody is, and I'm glad that they're going inning by inning to finish out this game with some relievers. It gives their arms a little more freshness than it would be if one guy threw 2-3 innings to finish this contest.
And it's a 2-2 count here. Joe Turner, happy to be part of this team. And there's a strikeout, and he's definitely even happier now. Gets him looking. I believe that's the 4th strikeout by Monarchs pitchers looking tonight. And it's 1 up, 1 down. Now up for the Jetbox from EMU, Cody Holtick, the second baseman. Holtick so far tonight with 3 groundouts, 0 for 3, which is kind of a usual stat line for most of the Jetbox tonight, Tom, the way that the Monarchs pitching staff has been.
Only 4 individuals with hits tonight.
You got to love that with a shortened roster when there's a strike for the first delivery of the at-bat. When you got 13 players, and you get Konashevsky to go 5 innings, and then good relief by Jake Peer and now Joe Turner in, you got to love that to shorten things up. That ball chopped to the shortstop, and wow, the scoop by scoop is going to go into right field. It was a good attempt there, and then trying and digging for third. Can he get there? He does, and that ball is backed up, thank God, by the Monarchs, but it's a triple that should have been a single at worst.
Yeah, it's going to be a base hit with a throwing error to allow him to go from first to third, but a close chance over there at third on the throw from Potkova on right field, but with 1 out, this is kind of the biggest threat that Jetbox has had all night, so let's see how the Monarchs deal with some adversity tonight.
Yeah, listen, this is a rare time for Jetbox fans to even have any glimmer of hope. I mean, they're still down 7-0, but that was something with 1 down. First runner of the game on third base for the Jetbox, and it brings up Ryan Lux, the catcher. 1-0 on him. Here comes the delivery from Joe Turner, and that's outside. Lux so far tonight struck out in the first inning, forced out in the third, and had a single in the 5th. So 1 for 2 in his 4th at bat for Lux, the elder of the Lux brothers Grimm. Here's the 2-0, swung and foul down the left base or the third base line. So 2-1. I've liked what I'm seeing so far from Joe Turner. I mean, obviously, bad luck on the last at bat for Holtink, but seems to have pretty good stuff as he's coming in relief of Jake Pear.
Yeah, with a strikeout to start things as well. Doesn't get any better than that.
There's a great pitch, fastball down the middle. 2-2. Runner on third, 1 out, and boy, I know the Monarchs would love to keep this shutout attack, Tom. I mean, they're very likely going to win this game, but you look at little victories and getting the shutout and make this team feel real good. There's a swing and a miss. That's going to help. The percentages of a shutout can stay in place here, and now 2 down, runner on third. And coming up is number 18, Brady Kazook, the first baseman. And so far tonight, Kazook is 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out in the first. And Kazook from Adana University out of Clarkston, Michigan. And throwing to third is the catcher Thompson. Getting back easily is Holtink.
Yeah, if you're Jetbox right now, you want to see some sort of fight here. You're down to your last 4 outs in the game. Kazook's one of your better hitters. Got to slap something into the outfield to score the run.
And that ball, as you just called for it, smacked into the outfield. Can it fall? No, it can't, because Jason Dower on his horse makes the play. And that's the end of the threat and the end of the top of the 8th. It remains 7-0 Monarchs. Bottom of the 7th coming up. It's 7-8 stretch time on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Lake Trust Stadium. Dan Leach alongside Tom Cavanaugh. We start the bottom of the 7th there. New pitcher for the Jetbox, and it's number 14, Brandon Biggerstaff. So far this year, just 1 appearance. He started a game. He's 0-1 with a 15 ERA. Pitched 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, allowed a walk, and 10, count them, 10 hits. This is probably a good spot for him to come in because they're down 7-0. I don't think the Jetbox are coming back in this one, but maybe he can work out what the problems were last time out.
Yeah, with the bottom half of the lineup coming up here, it's a good challenge for both. It's good to see if Biggerstaff can shut down this lower half here, or if Potkova, Akers, and Dower here can come through with some big hits. They're hitting in the bottom half of the lineup. They got to show the coaches why they need to be bumped up.
TJ Potkova so far tonight with a single and a run scored, and a sac fly, and also a ground out, or fly out, excuse me. And he takes a strike, the first delivery from Biggerstaff. Reminds me of Bernie Bickerstaff, the longtime NBA coach. And that ball low in the dirt, 1-1. Biggerstaff, as we mentioned, Northwood University. He's a senior out of St. Clair Shores, Michigan. I know Kenny Cal, a good friend and the voice of the Red Wings. Probably out there on a boat right now having some kind of Miller High Life. And that ball smacked to left field. Should stay in play, though. And Brennan Lux, who bobbled it last time and missed the play, makes it that time. I think that the sun has gone far enough now where if he had lost into the sun that last time, this time he wouldn't.
He still looked a little bit shaky there in the field, though. I think it's still lingering a bit, because even when you and I are sticking our heads outside the window here to view that baseball, once it gets over the trees there, we can still see it, but just barely. And you got lights on the field beaming at you, so if you see the wrong angle on the ball and it's right in those lights, it's just like the sun. So that might have been playing a role there, but glad he made the catch that time.
Now, I believe we have a pinch run hitter in, number 9, who normally is Hatsa Giorgio, right? Jonah St. Antoine. But he's the newest player. You had 5, and he's the 6th. I think he was signed right before the game started by Garrett Primetime Pogrovich. Jonah St. Antoine from Pittsburgh. He's a freshman. And remember, Quinn Konashevsky from Pittsburgh, who is a junior. You wonder if they were roommates, or maybe you used to go and get a burger together after baseball games? Maybe movie buddies? So brand new player here, Jonah St. Antoine. Welcome to the Monarchs. takes a strike after working a 3-0 count off of Brandon Biggerstaff. Does that mean that there's a smaller staff somewhere? Like, how do we know he has the bigger staff? And that ball flying out to left field, always in a veteran with Brandon Lux. He makes the catch again. Still a little tentative there, Tommy.
That's what I'm saying.
He's nervous.
He was at third base last game. I'm not sure if he is a secondary or a primary positioned left fielder, but any outfielder is going to have trouble with this guy right now, and it's just him that's having that. And even the wind still blowing in hard from right field, so once that gets caught in the jet stream, that ball's cutting towards the left field line there.
All right, here's the delivery by Brandon Biggerstaff into Jason Dower. And Dower takes the ball low. Dower so far tonight struck out looking, struck out swinging, and had a single and scored a run.
He's had a pretty good day out of the 9 spot. It was part of that big 4-run fifth inning.
Yep, had to love that. You got to love it when the lower half of the lineup is performing as well. That ball outside. Now 3-0 like we had on the last batter. So it's worked out both times for Biggerstaff with flyouts to shaky Brennan Lux at left. All due respect. Shaky McGavern. That ball down the pipe for a strike. Obviously, when we josh with these kids, it's out of all respect. I mean, we're having fun with these guys. They're great kids, and we want them to do nothing but the best. And that ball down the middle, so he's worked the count full. And here comes the payoff pitch for Jason Dower, and he smacks it to third. This should end the 8th. It does, and we go to the top of the ninth. 3 outs away for a shutout, 3 outs away for a victory for the Michigan Monarchs. You're watching the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Lake Trust Stadium. The Monarchs 3 outs away from a shutout, 3 outs away from a much-needed victory to get back to 5-6 and drop the Jetbox to 1-8. But what a night for Quinn Konashevsky. He got things going. He's working on Player of the Game honors. Jetbox could not muster any offense off the Monarchs pitching, but great 5th, 6th, and 7th inning momentum offensively for this Monarchs team. They scored 4 in the 5th after having just had no hits, and then had 5 in the 5th inning. Added 1 in the 6th, added 1 or 2 in the 2nd, or the 7th, excuse me, to make it 7-0. And just some great base running throughout the game. Some nice, placed hits and timing where this Monarchs team didn't look like they could do anything in the first few innings and really kind of built momentum as they went on.
Yeah, everything was clicking on the offensive side, and defensively, they did exactly what they needed to do.
So here is Nick Kroll, the shortstop. Kroll so far on the night has a single and 2 ground outs, so he's 1 for 2. And now looking to get some kind of rally going here for the Jetbox. It would be a monumental one, Tom, that's for sure. 2-1 count. It's Joe Turner in his 2nd inning of work. And all the Monarchs pitchers have been great tonight, whether it was Turner, obviously Jake Pear for a couple innings, and Konashevsky for 5. He was just solid. Absolutely solid. Here's a 3-1 count on the leadoff batter. And he takes the walk, so that's not – we talked about how leadoff walks can be killers. And getting it going here is Nick Kroll, and now Brennan Lux, the left fielder's up, and he's 0 for 3 on the evening. But a runner on and a little life for at least this shutout to be – that's the goal you would think the Jetbox have, is to not allow a shutout tonight.
Right.
I don't think they're coming back. Never say never. If there were odds on this game, which I hope someday there is, I would say the Monarchs are minus 25,000 right now. A ball outside, and here comes Sam Thompson to talk things over with Joe Turner, brand new player, one of the 6 new players who are in Monarchs uniforms tonight after the majority of the team went to Alaska to play a 5-game showcase, maybe do some halibut fishing, and have 20 hours of sunlight.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
That's why we brought up Insomnia earlier, because it was light for 22 hours during that movie every day.
Yeah, I've never gone through something like that, but it's going to be quite interesting for a lot of those guys.
Well, your Marlins not doing any favors for you. They get out of an inning with 1st and 3rd and 1 down, but you are going to have your man come up next, Arias, who's just unbelievable. I can't believe you told me the Twins traded him. What are they thinking? That ball smacked back to our broadcast positions by Brennan Lux. What were the Twins thinking, trading a guy that looks like he could be a generational talent?
I have no idea. I don't think he definitely didn't do what he did this year, last year.
He sure didn't.
I mean, he's the first to 100 hits already on the season. That's
and he's got
incredible.
3 5-hit games, Tom. As there's a ball, 2 and 1 count now on Brennan Lux. He has 3 5-hit games. The major league record, including a guy like Ty Cobb is part of that, is 4 in a season. It's only June.
Yeah, he's going to also rival Tony Gwynn with that average coming down to the end of the year.
He's back over, I don't know about after tonight, but he was back to 400 after last night's game.
After going 5 for 5? Yeah, sure, why not?
Why not? Over that 4 year, the Mendoza line is 200. I think the Tony Gwynn line is 400.
Yeah.
A great player he was. I have his rookie card somewhere in my Donruss rookie card in the basement. I'll give it to you. Free of charge. Here's the 3-1 smacked into center field. That's going to drop, so 2 on. Nobody out. First 2 Jetbox on. They definitely want to break this shutout. And the Monarchs want to do everything they can to keep the shutout intact. So Joe Turner, who looked pretty good in the last half inning, not so much this one. Oh, I'm sorry, Brandon Biggerstaff. All right, so you're checking that Zach Jones is a pinch hitter here for Ball State. For Mark Champion, one of my heroes, longtime voice of the Lions, the voice of the Pistons, worked alongside Mark Champion for a long time. A big Ball State Cardinal, him and David Letterman. And Zach Jones, a sophomore out of Rochester, Michigan.
I'm pretty familiar with Zach. I'm actually pretty good friends with him. My brother.
Yeah, I heard you guys were best friends.
My 2 brothers played at Stony Creek High School with him, so we know the Jones family very well. And a big shout out to Zach, getting to see him for the first time here. All
right, so Jones up with 2 on 2 out. Can you do me a favor and ask him why he had to spell his name with a C? Why is it Z-A-C and not Z-A-C-K? Or even if he wanted to be Z-A-K, I call him a Zach Attack.
There's a lot of Z-A-C-H's too.
I know. Why isn't his parents doing the Z-A-C? Unless his full name is Zachary. Zachary Daiquiri Doc. 1-0 count on Zach Jones. And that one right to the shortstop. Could be 2. And there's 1. And do we have 2? We sure do. 2 for the price of 1. And the threat almost all but gone. Now you got a runner on third and 2 down and 1 out away from a nice Monarchs complete, not just shutout, but complete victory. Pitching, offense, timely hitting, and a great bounce back after the Mercy Rule game on Sunday to the clip joint.
Yeah, and that defensive play right there just is the sprinkles and the cherry on top right there. You said they've done everything. They just haven't turned a double play, and they did right there.
So the last hope for the Jetbox is Joshua Swish family, he's a basketball player, Swiss family Robinson. He is from Davenport, a senior out of DeWitt, Michigan. Takes a ball on the first delivery from Joe Turner, and now another, and it's 2-0. Runner on third is Brennan Lux. He would love to come home and break this shutout. At least get some good taste in your mouth. If you're a Jetbox fan, remember 2 more games here. We'll have them both for you. 7:05 starts on both Wednesday and Thursday night. And that ball smacked to the second baseman. Should end the game, and it does, as Gamini throws him out, and that's the ball game. 7-0, Tom, on 9 hits. Monarchs pitching allowed 6. Both teams had an error, but a complete victory and a nice bounce back for this Monarchs team. And the time of the game, a sizzling 1 hour and 53 minutes. Gotta love that.
I cannot believe that. And
with only 13 players by the Monarchs.
That's incredible. And a big part of that, you got to tip your cap to, I think you'd agree, we talked about it already, Dan, Quinn Konashevsky.
Yep.
He was lights out. 6 innings pitched, 4 runs, no earned, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. He set the tone for the entire game, for the entire team. And when they came out on the offensive side after a few rough innings, they had that confidence that their guy, their big lefty, was going to go out there, shut down the Jetbox offense, and they had time to score some runs, and man, they did.
He is our player of the game, and as we mentioned earlier, his favorite post-game meal is chicken parm. You know he's going to be tasting some of that tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And his favorite baseball player growing up, by the way, Victor Martinez. If Victor Martinez somehow was jumping on the stream watching us tonight, he'd be proud of Quinn Konashevsky. I actually play a lot of poker with Victor Martinez, and I won't name the casino, but he's a big poker player, and there was a lot of times on days after games or nights after games or nights before day games, V. Martin and me were shuffling up and dealing at one of the downtown.
That's
poker
awesome.
rooms. Gotta love that.
Awesome.
We gotta love Quinn Konashevsky. You gotta love the great effort by all tonight, both offensively and the pitching staff, and defensively as well by the Michigan Monarchs. They get the job done 7-0 and improve their record to 5-6 on the season. Jetbox dropped to 1-8, and these same two teams will be right back at it tomorrow. I'll be on the call because my man Tom Cavanaugh is leaving me. He's just not really happy with the way that I've been treating him lately. No, Tom, I will miss you. Safe travels to you.
Thank you.
You're going out to Long Beach. I've asked you, you're going to see one of your friends who's a rocket scientist. Just get me some kind of a rocket. It could be a full-size rocket, one of the small ones you launch, or even like just a little figurine, but some kind of rocket.
We're probably going to go tour his work on Thursday or Friday afternoon, so I'll definitely pick something up for you.
Or, steal the plans to some kind of spaceship. No, but have a great time.
Thank you, Dan.
It's a pleasure and joy, as always, to work with you, and what a joy it is to be able to call a game like this a complete overall mollywhopping by the Michigan Monarchs. 7-0 is your final score. Any final thoughts, Tommy?
You got to take it in tomorrow. You had 2 opposite games on the opposite ends of the spectrum, 14-2 loss, 7-0 win. I know it's against 2 different teams, but you have to come in tomorrow with the utmost confidence. Jetbox already this year has been shut out 3 times. They got to make it 4 tomorrow.
That they do. All right, Tom will be back in a couple of games, so he won't be gone that long. Your fans will miss you, though.
Sunday.
So will I. I will see Tommy on Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow night for Game 2 of this 3-game set as the Michigan Monarchs go for the series win against the Jetbox. We'll be on air around 6:56 right here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. For Tom Cavanaugh, all of our great folks to make things go, Garrett Primetime Pogrovich, Kyle, Mike the great PA man, Peter Riley, Jim DeSeta, the great owner of the Michigan Monarchs, and most importantly, all of you keep reaching for the stars. Believe in the dream. The Monarchs get it done. 7-0 is the final score tonight. I'm Dan Leach saying so long. We'll see you next time on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network.